We live in a world ablaze. The flames lick at the edge of our lives, and the smoke fills our lungs. Everywhere we look, there's a new fire, literal and figurative, threatening to consume everything we've ever known. Some say it's the end, that we're witnessing the final act of a grand tragedy that has been centuries in the making. And maybe they're right. But here's the thing about fire. It doesn't just destroy. It cleanses. It purifies. It forges steel in its heat. And out of the ashes, something new always rises. It's been that way since the dawn of time. And it will be that way long after we're gone. So here we are, standing on the edge of oblivion. But we're not afraid. We're not backing down. Neither should you. Because this is a moment we've been waiting for. The moment where we prove what we're made of. Where we decide if we're going to let the flames consume us. Or if we're going to rise stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. This podcast, this voice in the darkness, is our beacon. It's a signal that we're still here, that we're still fighting. And we're not going anywhere. Not now, not ever. We're gonna talk about the hard things, the things that make your blood boil and your heart race. We're going to face the reality of our world, no matter how painful, because only by confronting the truth can we change it. So, if you're ready to walk through the fire with us, if you're ready to look the world in the eye and say, I'm still standing, then you're in the right place. Because this isn't the end. Nah, far from it. It's just the beginning. Welcome back. Let's get to work.
Let's go to the Olympics.
Yeah, so in keeping with within the same topic, right?
Okay.
That the Olympics ceremony would have an opening. I was seeing the opening, carrying of the torch, and everything was going normal. Everything was going fine.
Okay. I'm curious to know what you...
Until we get to
felt.
a scene. We get to a scene that is a Pablo Picasso, I think, or no, Da Vinci, I believe, was the artist who drew the Last Supper painting that we all know today.
Okay.
Now, they do a parody of this. So it seems, because we make connections and we see things for what they are, and we say, okay, this looks like something I've seen. Okay. They have transgendered people on there. They have a naked man on the table.
The blue guy?
Painted in blue. Yeah, his nuts hanging out. Yeah, it was just painted, which you can see. And then they had like an obese woman, I think, in the center. And somebody on Twitter, or now known as X, stated like, "Oh, I like that the depiction of the Last Supper on here."
He said that?
Yeah,
Nobody had even thought about
somebody had posted that on X, right?
Okay.
The lady in the middle, she followed that comment, and she commented on that post and said, "Yes, I'm like Jesus," or something like that.
Oh, she said that? I didn't know this information.
Now, then the Christian community started freaking out. As soon as the Christian community started freaking out, the lady went back, deleted that post, but people have copies of that post. That post exists. Okay. And they retracted and said, you know what? This in reality is a Greek banquet or something. We weren't making fun of Jesus, okay? So they retracted, right? But it's like, okay, you know what? Like, like the lady acknowledged, right, that they were, I guess, mocking the painting, the depiction of it, right? And then later retracted, like, oh, you know what, it was actually a Greek thing. So what do y'all think about this, man? All right, time out here real quick. I need to interrupt this video to go over a few things, okay? First things first, did you smash that like button over here? Did you hit that subscribe button somewhere over here? While you're doing that, I'd love to take this opportunity to talk to you real quick about a serious matter, okay? Life is unpredictable, but your family's future doesn't have to be, okay? Do you have family? Do you have people that depend on you and you love them very much? What would become of them if something unfortunate were to happen to you, okay? Would they be able to produce $15,000 for funeral expenses, etc.? If no, then make sure you reach out to Simple Insurance. Okay, secure your legacy with Simple Insurance. Simple Insurance is securing legacies one client at a time, one family at a time, one community at a time. Again, protect what matters most by giving yourself peace of mind and send that final love letter to the ones that you love in the unfortunate event that something were to happen to you. Okay, get a free quote today. Again, that's Simple Insurance. The information will be in the description box below. And as always, peace. I was asking, like, so what do you all think?
Yeah. So I hadn't heard this information that you just told us, that the girl had replied and had said that.
Yeah.
Because what I had heard was that whenever whoever started noticing, and then they questioned the person in charge of they call him the ceremonies, opening ceremonies director.
Okay.
Like his name is Thomas Jolly or something like that. When they asked him, he said no.
Yeah.
He said that's not what that was.
Yeah.
These are the Olympics. So what they were doing is they were, I guess, what's it called when they do like
homage, paying homage
to the Greek gods of mythology, right? So that makes sense because the Olympics is believed in their traditions that the Olympians or the gods were the first ones to participate in the competition. So that's how it all started. And to me, it's very interesting. We're like, okay, if you want to see it as they were trying to mock the Last Supper and were offended, I'm like, okay, I get that, right? I'm not offended. I don't think if the guy came out and whether his intention was to do it or not, what counts to me, I guess, is what he said later when they asked him and he denied it. So if he really wanted to do something like that, I guess he would have come out and be forward about it and say, yeah, that's what I try to do. But it does make a lot of sense if he denies it and says, we were just doing it because we're honoring the gods or whatever of Greek mythology and because the Olympics come from there and stuff. Even though I don't think that it's the Last Supper, to me, it's just as offensive in a different way because, and we've talked about this a lot. It goes into the Bible and everything back to Genesis 6, where the sons of God came and took the daughters of men. This was very popular back then when we were doing our last podcast. I don't know if you guys remember with the Nephilim and stuff. Everybody was talking about that.
Yeah.
So what I think we should be capturing from this is that somehow this stuff that a lot of people think is myth or mythology, it's still the whole world is still affected by it today. Like there's still people who honor those gods kind of in a sense, like even though they're doing it unknowingly, right? They think it's just like, this is something we've always celebrated, this is something that we've always done. And but to the this ties into what we were talking about earlier, the war and everything. This is paganism compared to what like the whole world is supposed to be under. To us, Christians, that we believe a certain way. I'm not saying that the Olympics are bad or whatever they did, but it's something that we have to realize is like something happened a long time ago that is still affecting the world today. Like we're still celebrating the Olympics, even though like people call it Greek mythology or whatever. And whatever they depicted, if it is what they said, like they were depicting their gods. One of them, I think, that was the blue guy, is supposed to represent the name. I guess is like, what was the name? I had it written down. Dionysus or something like that. Dionysus. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so if they were doing that, that's something also that we have to be aware of.
No, and so I think that what was interesting was that as soon as that happened, the city went into blackouts. Like,
oh, it did?
Yeah, that's like 3 days. 3 days they were having trouble with electrical stuff, and
oh, really?
As soon as that happened, yeah. So, I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Then, like you say, ¿verdad? Are we ones to get offended?
Mm-hmm.
No. ¿Verdad? Why? Because the Bible has rightly said, it has said
It's going to happen.
that there were going to be mockers and scoffers, that they would be increased at the end. So the Bible has said, right? But I think this is what's interesting. Why don't you make fun of Islam?
That's the thing too.
Why don't you put a little girl, a 9-year-old little girl in there, and some creep ass, stalking a little girl, right? So their prophet, right, has done, right? This isn't me saying. This is what is written, in the hadiths, right? I'm not gonna get into that here, but why don't they make fun of Islam, man? Why don't they make fun of Buddhism?
Any other?
Oh, Hinduism. This is where like, if it was or if it wasn't, you just know, like, okay, there has to be a reason why they would go after this.
No, but also not only them. Like if you think about all the movies and stuff, it's always against Christianity, bro.
Yeah.
And they always honor those gods.
Mhm.
Any movie that you watch, whether it's Avengers or whatever, they're
Yeah.
always depicting these Greek gods for a reason. Like they're the heroes, they're the
Yeah.
superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
and with different names and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, my experience of the Olympics seems to be a little bit different from you guys. I'm not sure if y'all seen him trending, but the Turkish sharpshooter, I
I
think.
saw that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just without any equipment, just his eyeglasses,
Oh,
just shooting down and getting silver. Was
Yeah.
pretty iconic.
Yeah.
In addition, there was also this Norwegian swimmer that became infamous in the
Oh.
Olympic Village for his. He really loved their chocolate muffins that they
Mm.
had, and I think his name, let's see, was Henrik Christensen,
Mm.
and like on TikTok, he was always getting like 4 or 5 muffins of the chocolate muffins.
Yeah.
man, yeah,
He
really
loved
liked
those
them.
muffins. Yeah.
I was
And
going to say that one of the things that I did, I never watched the Olympics at all. I didn't watch the open ceremony. I didn't watch anything at all. But I watched the TikToks of all the funny stuff that went down with when the break dancer. There was a
Oh,
break
yeah,
dancer.
she scored
You
0.
saw that one?
I
She
saw
didn't
that
score
one.
any
And
goals.
then I think the Olympic game list for next time got released, and there wasn't no more
not- there was no
breakdancing,
more
and it
breakdancing.
was
It was just a
like
one-time thing.
they
It
were
was a
blaming it on
complete
her,
fail.
bro.
What was her name?
Let me see.
Rachel. Something like that.
Red Gun.
Ray Gun.
Ray Gun.
Reagan, yeah. And then there was also this guy with the pole vaulting.
I saw. That's the one I
Oh,
It's a
saw.
poor
the
guy.
one-
Yeah.
He lost.
His
It's just a
dom
little bit
got
too-
caught on the pole.
A little bit too blessed.
Blessing turned to a curse.
You could see his face when he was
He
going down.
sad, yeah.
When he was going down, he's like, not again. Like,
I should have faced the other way.
Chihuahua.
Gee,
Oh man.
Gravity,
Yeah.
man, is. is what
Yeah,
happens.
man, nah, it's crazy. One of the things that I did want to try to see was the tennis thing, because I did see the Wimbledon women's. That's one that I did get to see, and I know that I think it's Carlos Alcaraz or something like that.
Mm.
He's a Spaniard, I think. He's really good. I know he was gonna be in there, but I didn't watch that. I just saw like highlights, like you all, just the high points and stuff.
Is it over? Are the Olympics over? Or still
I think
going
so.
on?
I think it's already done.
It's done.
Yeah. So that was the Olympics. So